If we get 96, for instance, we are going to take the one that is high. If I go there, that's why government normally will just ask that the two groups come together. If I go there and get only 30 and they get 40, definitely I will concede to what they got. But usually we sit together, harmonize, and present in every year, even in some sectors, unions could even say this is what is obtainable. The last minimum wage, even the governors were talking of 25,000 and all. There were various views. The governor's forum will come up with their position. NECA will come up with their position. Various bodies will come up with their position before we now start harmonizing. So definitely, I believe that we are going to harmonize our position. And we have always done that in terms of negotiating. And you see, not all workers that will come there to negotiate. Like he said, there were over 40-something industrial unions in the country. The NLC or TUC does not control the unions. The unions control the centers. The unions fund the centers. The unions own the centers. The unions form the centers. So it depends on what is the position of electricity union, what is the position of textile union, what's the position of petroleum workers union. They decide what happens in these centers.
Okay, so what were those factors that necessitated your proposal of 96,000 naira?
Oh, you can see from available evidence that if a bag of rice is 22 or 23,000 naira, it's cost of living index that we adopted. And you expected a man to have about 4 children. And we looked at the cost of a 2-bedroom flat minimum. And we looked at the cost of children's school fees. Now, we looked at the cost of entering bus, assuming they don't have vehicle. Now, and other cost implication. There is no way you sit down and calculate this. And I'm talking of cost of living index. I've not looked at inflation and devaluation of the currency that you won't get up to 90 to 100,000. So that was the reason.
Okay. Let me go to Comrade Aremu. Your NLC and TUC, you're talking about 56. What were the parameters?
Well, don't forget that this proposal was sent since last year, and I'm very sure the parameters then, the numbers have even changed fundamentally. But the proposal is different from what you are really going to negotiate. We look at the cost of living index, as I said. We also look at a worker, with his wife and possibly 4 dependents, what it takes him to live, in a day. And don't forget, we're also coming from 18,000 minimum wage, which is the current rate. So for us to move on in terms of the rate of inflation, the cost of living, and the basic requirements of a worker to survive, that's why we propose that 56,000. Of course, it has to be negotiated, and we look at the numbers when we go for negotiation. That's the parameter. But also, Yomi, I saw you. And I'm as a worker too, I'm very sure you also share the pain of, the pain of what you've called divided house. And I think I still want to insist that we can have more coherent approach to this issue if we are all talking from the same voice. And we've gotten from 1981, when we started the minimum wage, we've always had one single proposal, articulated by the labor centers. And I think both the NSC and TUC discussed and did it together for us to send our proposal. And I think it's important that we get our houses very right. I'm saying so because the forces that we are fighting, that we are going to engage in, they are quite united. There's only one Nigeria Employer Consultative Association. There's only one Manufacturer Association of Nigeria. There's only one federal government. Even the governors have come together within a forum. Only one, in spite of their infighting, they've come together. I think the trend in the world of the labor movement is to march together. In fact, as a matter of fact, if you ask me, I still want Nigeria Labour Congress and TUC to merge and become single one. There's nowhere in the world, you talk of senior staff, junior staff, workers are the same. They pay the same, they face the same crisis. So I think we'll be better off if we are united in a common front, and in any case, as Comrade Jero said, if we are still going to be united on this issue, I think we need to work single umbrella. Again, some of these issues are not the issue we can discuss at this forum, but I look forward to a platform in which me and my comrade over there we talk in unison and have the same numbers. Because people that we lead, they want to get correct signal that will get results.
Mr.
But I also want to use this forum to tell the employers and the government to know that we are all united in defense of the workers' rights.
Okay.
And
in uniting the House,
I think the government can profit from any of the division. It will not work.
As you said, the people you're fighting or you're going to be talking with on behalf of the workers are all united. So,
yeah,
would you?
They are united. Yeah.
Would your union be willing to take a few steps back in order to unite your house again?
Oh, very well. We've been, my union in particular, don't forget, we've done a lot of sacrifices. We are one of the people that also faced challenges during these last elections. We were denied our basic rights, but in the interest of the labor movement, we have moved on. Okay. And I think that what is important is that all the parties, must be able to sacrifice. The NLC leadership currently has to come down and discuss with all the athletes very well. Look at the legitimate concern. NLC cannot fly if a single athlete has reservation, and we need all the athletes. Okay. There's no athlete that is not strategic. All of them are needed. So we need to, it's about leadership and weaving everybody together. And I want to say on the last note, that we've always been having challenges in the labor movement. There's no time. I know when Comrade Adams was NSC president from 1998, he faced election. There are a lot of crises. There are people who may not agree with him, but he weaved them together. We're all united together, to work in a way that they don't need to look for another exit. I think what is important, and I think I was in court recently, the Justice Adejuma of National Industrial Court counseled all of us that we must come together, to get united, and all what you need is for the leadership at all level to subdue their ego for the interests of Nigerian workers. Every day I see workers organizing, about non-payment of salaries.
Thank you. Mr. Jero, he has said they're willing to step a few steps back for the House to come together for the sake of the worker. Would the United Labour Congress be willing to take a few steps back to get the House together?
Well, I don't. We have preached unity and we stand on it, but not unity or peace of the graveyard. This issue, maybe they are talking of the NLC faction. We've gone beyond that. I'm not a faction of the NLC, and never will I be. So if there is something that anybody is laying claim to in the NLC, the person can as well have it. But I am a leader of the United Labour Congress, in line with the Trade Union Act, which says this number of unions, if you meet these conditions, you can form a center. Now, if we are talking of the fact that the issue of pluralism as enshrined in the law, is not good, and we need to remain in one house, whether we are breaking our heads or whatever, then we can talk. And if we are talking of maybe merger, or acquisition, as the case may be anyway, we can have separate talk on that. So, but we are not talking of maybe the 2 years we spent on reconciliation or no reconciliation that didn't work, and we have moved on. So, if there is any need, tomorrow, because unions meet, various unions.
All of this for the sake of the worker.
Yeah, unions talk about merger, unions talk about acquisition, all that. If that is what a proposal like that, we'll discuss it.
Okay.
No, but I don't think that there's a faction in the NLC.
Right.
No.
Mr. Jero, I want to thank you very much, Sir Joe Ajero, President, United Labour Congress of Nigeria, and Comrade Isa Aremu, NEC, NEC member, Nigerian Labour Congress, and Vice President of the Industrial Global Union. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us. Sunrise Daily will be back in a moment. Don't go away.